What the fuck?
What? I like how you
Give me a
just.
second.
I love how you start the stream with "What the fuck."
I mean, it's appropriate.
All right,
Timing, too.
That was weird.
time to read this thing that Zero sent to me.
I don't really feel like getting involved in it though.
So, who was it that posted this in your server, Zero?
Oh, it was Mappy. It was just.
Okay.
I don't know what came over him. I guess he got bored and decided to just write like 20 fucking walls of text of all cringe. This is just one of them.
Okay, here we go. So here I am, writing something about a time of which I entered a place to perform an activity of which I endured for multiple hours on end, only to fall asleep mid-process, accidentally destroying half the economy and causing a stock market crash similar to the market crash of '08. However, I stayed resilient and with my master skills of the katana, marches onward to only standing ramen shop to which Kermit then gave me the best goddamn bowl of ramen I've ever had in my life. Only then would I leave the shop without paying, cause fucking money, and go on my adventure to obtain, the Triforce? Yeah, the Triforce of which I will make a wish, only to be the master of all that is, katana, and hentai, and to my wildest heart. Yeah, harem. Just then, as my travels continue, I hear a rustling. Something was watching me, and without hesitation, I lunged with my sick katana skills, only to kill a, Google's, the fuck did I encounter? A massive shopping cart of the gods! With groceries so powerful it could milk the Milky Way itself, only with my sick anime katana skills could I vanquish such a foe. And just when I realized shopping carts can't die, the inner voice of the Katana Man told me to never lose hope, because copyright infringement. Yeah, then I won and got the Triforce and forgot what I was going to wish for, so I wished to know what I was going to wish for, and then remembered. The end.
What? I'm so confused.
Still high quality than most of what we read on here.
Imagine me reading that first time.
What did
So-
you ad-lib that?
So, Zero, I deliberately did not read it so that my reaction here is genuine. Oh, that was great.
What was it?
It was something a friend of Zero's wrote on his server.
He was trying to level up.
I'm very tempted to, as soon as that guy hits level 10, reset him to 0.
Dude, I'm so tempted, man. Like, level 9 at like 99%, just reset it.
Yeah.
Or let him hit level 10, then reset.
I mean, he'd have the roll. We could delete the roll.
That-
you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so we are continuing with the fastest man in Game of Thrones.
Hell yeah.
Oh no.
Now, last time, this SI into Jon Snow was born, and he immediately aged to 3 years old.
Well, don't forget, first before he aged up, he fixed Lyanna so she.
Oh yeah,
wasn't
he
dying
immediately
without
healed
virginity.
Lyanna to the extent of restoring her hymen.
With the power of plants.
Yes, with the power
Yeah.
of plants.
And he aged her by what, a decade or something?
No, he didn't. He didn't mess with her age at all. He
I
just
thought she did.
healed her and restored her hymen.
Isn't she only like 15 or something anyway?
Yeah, like she's a adolescent at this point anyway.
I thought it was 16. Yeah.
something like
That is adolescent.
Why did I think she was
So,
older?
But
Oh, whatever.
anyway, then they leave the tower of joy before Ned arrives, because fuck Ned. And along this 3-day journey to Starfall, he ages to 18 years old.
Yep, I remember now.
You're going
Oh yeah, and
to
he
get
has the
Daenerys.
power of One Piece.
So he's now old with his mother.
Yes, he is now older than his mother, and he's getting the horny for his mother.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Y'all know where that's going.
Remember that happening yet?
He hasn't acted on it, but he's got the hormones.
Right.
And Lyanna seems to be getting the hormones too. So, let's dive on in. Chapter 6.
To Sweet Home, Alabama.
The paper and printing machine.
Oh,
Man loves this.
yeah.
I heard you reading that, and I knew, like, man's soul just shriveled.
Another revolutionary thing I wanted to introduce was papers and books. Books are already a thing, they're just not mass-produced. How to make papers. Step 1. I turned the tree into dried wood. Step 2. Discarded the barks and turned them into flat logs or timber. Step 3. I injected some waxy elements and turned them into thin slices. Quite easy, thanks to Oda again. These thin slices were not easy to break because of the wax he contains.
I'm pretty sure that's not how you make paper.
I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my back about that. Also, I see, like, this question and then steps, and I think of Contessa from Worm. I've been reading too much Worm recently, I guess.
Fair to Contessa.
What?
It's unfair to Contessa to compare her to this guy.
I'm not comparing her to him, I'm just commenting on the steps. The colors were reddish or yellowish. That's not what I wanted, though. I wanted fine white papers. I continued experiment. I extracted the color pigments from the timber first and turned them into paper. Or I extracted the colorful elements from the paper. Wow, by accident I created my first tissue paper, or toilet paper. I'm pretty sure this is not how you make toilet paper either.
No, that's
It's
spot
actually
on.
fairly
Man.
close
Of
to the
course it's
opposite
how
of
you
how you
make
make
toilet paper.
It's pretty much the opposite process, actually.
I think he just solved the toilet paper crisis.
Except that they have no sewage systems and no waste processing, so that
Yes, they do.
Yeah, it's called digging a hole.
Tyrion's job in Casterly Rock was to work on the sewage system.
Oh yeah, that's right.
White
And why
Harbor's
does everyone,
famous
why
for
does
its
everyone in fanfics always complain about the smell in the city centre?
Oh, the smell in King's Landing is canonical.
Caster
But
and Rock,
it's
no.
it's literally just King's Landing, and probably because of the huge population.
Hell, White Harbor is actually pretty famous for how clean it is and how well its sewers run.
Yeah, but it's got white in the name.
Yeah, I actually made the mistake of reading a fan fiction for like the first exposure to this series, so I haven't been able to get into the actual.
That's a huge mistake.
I mean, if you want, you can really watch the show. You'll really love season 8.
Gosh,
Nice try, but I have heard about that.
Speaking of,
Oh,
who else
wow.
is going to be watching House of the Dragon tomorrow?
I mean, apparently you, me, and Man.
we'll
I didn't-
all cry together.
I hadn't even realized that when this wound up winning the poll, but it's very fitting that we read a Game of Thrones fic for the return of
Shitty
Game of
one.
Thrones media.
Watch this be better than House of the Dragon.
I'd buy it.
By removing the elements out of the paper turned soft and light. It had wrinkles, though. I experimented on different types of trees. The results were good. I got many types of papers with different qualities. Paper was a luxurious thing in this era. Once again, I had another means to get rich. I created another... What?
I was just going to say, if the guy had just researched how to make paper, it would have taken him 5 minutes to get the basic gist of it.
Moving on. I created another treehouse and went into it. I wanted experiment ideas about printing. Actually, I had no idea about printing press, but it's okay to brainstorm ideas.
What? How do you not? Making a printing press is so basic.
It's a stamp.
Yeah. It's a big stamping machine that you can rearrange the letters.
Yeah, usually made of, what was it? Pliable metal? Bronze or something? No.
It can be made of wood.
That's true.
I created...
I mean, the earliest ones didn't even have rearrangeable letters. They just carved out a thing and used a stamp.
Oh god, he's playing Terraria. I created one bed, a table, and a chair. I turned the upper...
my god.
I turned the upper portion of the bed and chair into tissue paper. It's comfortable to sit.
Caffeine pilot.
Another
Sitting-
genius idea.
What? Sitting on a pile of paper is a horrible idea.
It's not just paper, it's tissue paper.
It's tissue paper,
It doesn't
okay?
make it
It's,
better.
it's like Charmin Ultra Soft, okay?
He's like those bears that cuddle up to the toilet paper.
Yeah.
I placed the papers on the table and thought of printing processes. I knew nothing about manual printing press except for seal. First, I had to solve the problem of ink first. I did not plan to use whatever ink they were using to write with quills.
What?
Color pigments I extracted from the paper inspired me. I could use the same elements for writing or printing. Mappy the Wise on YouTube says, just wanted to say, glad you enjoyed my cringe. Gotta go back to D&D and reset me. Do it, won't stop the cringe either way. It's more fun than just passing people in levels who have been grinding for months in a lovely afternoon. I think he was
He's right
talking
about
to
that.
you, Zero.
Oh, he was.
Color pigments I extracted from the paper inspired me. I could use the same elements for writing or printing. I tried injecting and controlling the elements to form letters and words. Great, it worked. I did not have to use any quill or pens to write from now onwards.
Zero. In light of the things we have read on this stream, how do you think Lightning Dragon Roar is bad?
Compared to everything else I've written later on, it is bad.
You're right, it doesn't measure up to your later works, but it's not bad.
Yeah, good and bad are relative.
Fair enough.
I could not control the elements, metals, non-metals, outside of the plants or woods. But inside any plants or wooden things, I could manipulate them easily. But wasn't he just saying last stream that he could extract the metals from the earth and get rich that way?
Yep.
Gonna need you to get all up off my back about that.
No.
He can until he can't. Pretty simple, right?
Okay, yeah, that makes
And then
sense.
he'll be able to in a few
Then
paragraphs.
he might be able to later. You don't know.
So he thinks that he can't right now. But it's actually
Yeah.
super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Exact.
But this was too slow and not appropriate for mass printing. I tried mixing the color resins with wax or oil and water at different proportions, and I got some sort of watercolor paint. It would suffice for now until I found better ones.
Is he planning on doing all of the printing himself?
Unclear! For printing press, I just used an enlarged version of seal. It was easier for me to engrave letters on the wood. It was just a matter of thought. The printing machine I prepared was not the advanced thing you might imagine. The only advantage was that I could make the press / engrave seal fast in an unlimited amount. Thorfax on YouTube says, "Oh gods, the cringe." You are not wrong.
The gods abandoned this stream long ago.
The gods of Olympus have abandoned me. Now there is no hope. Aegon printing press machine number 1.
What a name.
First, I made a table-like platform with hardwood. Second, I erected 2 wooden rods, which are connected at the top with another horizontal rod.
He's erecting rods.
You can imagine a wooden chair with a hollow backrest. Third, I added another wooden frame of the platform. It was connected at the waist of the chair. It was movable like that of a foldable chair. Fourth, I added my engraved seal on this frame. Fifth, this wooden frame was hanged to the horizontal beam or rod that I mentioned in the second step with a rubber rope.
When did he get his own seal?
I like how you shout second step.
Man, he made it up here.
Do you know how much thought has to go into a personal sigil?
Hey,
It was
easy,
just
okay?
a matter of thought.
Hey, you just thought about it and it happened.
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
He's been alive for a whole day now.
3 days.
3 whole days. And he's got the thought processing speed of the Flash, doesn't he?
Hell yeah. There you go.
Yup.
We've seen no evidence of that.
The only thing that we know explicitly from the Flash that he does not have is the endurance. Which
Yeah.
means he should... No, he explicitly said he doesn't have the Flash's endurance.
Yet.
Fair enough. Thorfax responded, "True, I don't see Shiro in the stream. Yeah, Shiro has yet to agree to appear in any of the streams.
Having
It's
He's
probably
named one of them.
it's probably good for his sanity."
Yeah, you guys don't want the guy to go insane.
more insane.
That's what I said.
He did come to one of them.
I don't think he's come to any of mine. Yup, I created the rubber rope from rubber plant.
What?
What?
Yep.
Where's the rubber rope come in?
Oh, in the 5th step. Look at the 5th step. He's like, I tied the wooden frame. I hanged it with a rubber rope
Okay.
From rubber plant.
from a from. Damn it.
6th, I created ink pad using soft wooden bed and a soft cotton. Its size was exactly the same with the platform. 7th, I dragged down the frame with the engraved type seal, first to the ink pad, then I placed the paper on the platform and pressed down again. Done. It might be the stupidest way, but it was quite easy for me. It's just a matter of minutes to set up a machine like this with my devil fruit power.
Is this guy under the impression that rubber just comes from the tree fully formed?
Apparently.
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yes, I created a different size of machine for each paper size. Stupid, but it was simpler. Now it was the time to create a book. Advantage of being a speedster was that I was able to print 100 set of books in just a few minutes. And I didn't have to worry about breaking the machine. I reinforced it constantly with my devil fruit power.
With what content?
Yeah, what is he printing?
Thorfax responded again. Shiro is already insane, although some of your streams would give him the desire to murder more universes. You're not wrong.
It certainly gives me the desire to drink.
You should listen to that.
I have already given in to that desire.
See?
My first book was Common Fruits of Westeros.
What?
I'm pretty sure the Westerosis already know all of this.
The next sentence gets better.
It was an A4 size book with 30 pages. It was single-sided print. Each page had a picture of a fruit and the name of the fruit.
Dude, I feel like he's just fucking.
No, this is age appropriate. A is for apple.
No, I mean like he did like Control P on a Word document and just read, okay, paper size A4,
30 pages.
single-sided.
How does this 3-year-old know all the fruits of Westeros?
No, he is a 3-day-old.
3-day-old.
Slash
How does he know the
18-year-old.
fruits of Westeros.
He's just
Unclear. It's a dark red monocolor print, but it was beautiful.
You know what's beautiful? A handwritten book with illustrations crafted over a few years.
Binding was easy with my power. I just injected a few adhesive resin elements into the binding areas.
Okay.
Thorfax says, plus, how does he have the motor control to do this? He used his powers. That's the answer.
Yes.
I hoped it made easier for the common people and children to learn reading. Aside from being a monocolor, quality of the book had reached the level of encyclopedia books of the previous life.
No.
There's so many things in just those 2 sentences.
We know that you're against uplifting the common folk.
If you're born a noble, you should be against it.
Yeah, it makes sense to uplift the common folk when you're one of the common folk. When you're a noble, not so much.
Yeah. I wanted to share my work with my mother, but because of the recent embarrassing situation, I was ashamed to do so. Oh yeah, part of the recent embarrassing situation is he got turned on when he realized Lyanna was lactating.
Yep.
He's a little horny honey.
Yeah. Indeed he is.
Oh, I almost forgot to mention. I most forgot to mention. I had already created a few samples of the candles. I made it using pine wood rod as the wick instead of cotton thread. I didn't which was better, but it was easier for me to use the pine wood instead. Illumination was good too. Hell no, it was incomparable to LED bulbs, but it was the best thing in this era. Author POV.
Yes, the author's POV.
That, what?
Thorfax again. Uplift the common folk on something, but not more important stuff, such as the North Pole crop rotation.
I think I get what you're saying. Yes, increasing the common folks' ability to farm and increasing the ability to learn a trade. Yes, but reading and the availability of information is a no-no.
He called in the two knights and shared his ideas about mass printing books and distributing it. They were marveled at his works. They were also shocked. Most people can't read.
Fair point.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
They were marveled at his works. They were also shocked with fine papers, but seeing the printing machine and finely binded book was another level of amazement. They supported my ideas, but Sir Gerald Hightower was a cautious and experienced man. He came from the land of Citadel. He knew how the maesters were monopolizing the knowledge.
The land of Citadel.
Sir Gerald Hightower from the land of Citadel.
Actually, I just had a thought. You were saying how it's not good to give out knowledge to the citizens, which is fine, but it doesn't actually apply in this case because he has ridiculously OP powers that the others will never have. So he has no worry about them overthrowing him.
Yeah, he is technically a god.
Bah, just kill every maester. They're outdated anyway.
The comments are as cringe as the writer.
Yes. At least the ones that are still commenting. Early on, people were commenting on how bad it was.
Yeah,
I actually can
now
argue that, Citrus. There are things within the world of A Song of Ice and Fire that would be capable of killing him from what we know of his abilities so far.
Like the Strangler poison, or...
I think he means Euron.
I did not mean Euron, but Euron could probably do it. No, I mean...
Euron with some build-up could do it.
Yeah, with some build-up. There's the Shadow Assassins. They might be able to accomplish it.
Faceless Men?
Faceless Men, yes. They could probably do it. It wouldn't be direct combat, but there would be ways to kill him.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Thorfax, you're right that at least it's not as bad as my Immortal. However...
That is an astronomically low bar.
However, there are compelling arguments that my Immortal is intentionally bad. So, with that in mind, I don't know if it can be considered as bad as my Immortal, or better than my Immortal. Because
So
if my Immortal is in fact intentionally bad, then it 100% succeeded in what it set out to do.
So, Smurf just shared a fact with me that
Is it a good
horrifies
fact?
me. There are ding-dong ice lattes.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm as confused as you are.
Ding-dong is in the Hostess.
I know
Okay.
what those are. There are a lot. Okay.
Oh, okay. I've
Okay.
seen these before.
He
Do we
reminded
need weapons
Aegon
since
to
he
be
joined?
cautious and not to arouse unwarranted hostilities. Well, it was not about making money, but if he distributed the books for free, it'd arouse suspicions. But you've literally been talking constantly about how everything can make you rich.
Yep.
How is it not about money?
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
The comments I get on In Pursuit of Magic telling me that Adam should be trying to get rich.
Oh, yes. The small folks, or the common people, won't be able to afford the books if it was sold expensively. He consulted with the experienced commander and came up with a compromise.
Oh God, no.
He decided to donate the books to the maesters first, to satiate them and to appeal to the nobles. To avoid unnecessary suspicions, he also wanted to request access to the libraries of the noble houses and to the citadel. He really also wanted to learn more about this world. Yep, and using plants and speed to poison them so they won't know it be a problem and take everything they had in Citadel isn't an option. Most people don't know how to read?
Why does he sound so confused? Then again, his name is Kid Death 1998.
I'm not good at writing conversations. Any inputs are welcomed.
You're not good at writing.
Writing.
anything.
That's my input.
You guys are vicious.
Chapter 7. First
No,
meeting with
very
Eddard
good.
Stark.
Vicious, but not wrong.
First meeting with Eddard Stark. The Honorable
Yes,
Lord
Matt.
Hand.
The fact that he is now 18 does get in the way of any claims that he is a son of Rhaegar.
Yeah. Because
But he's magical.
that would put Rhaegar being a literal child when he was born.
Clearly, he plans to ask for a DNA test.
Yeah, like a Jerry Springer moment. You are the son.
Maybe he hopes to have dragons by the time it's an issue.
I wouldn't doubt it that he would get a few dragon eggs.
He would probably just wind up making dragons at the rate this is going.
Yeah.
He'll probably apply his accelerated growth to the dragons as well.
Because that will
And
be
then he'll have
confusing
one
and
3
awful.
times the size of Valyrian.
Oh,
The
you're
black.
thinking too small. It's going to be 10 times the size of the Red Keep.
It's gonna be the size of
it's-
Encalagon.
It's gonna be
Lord of the Rings.
bigger than in Calagon.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be able to eat the moon.
And then no, the moon will hatch while it's eating it, and he'll eat all the little dragons.
Wait.
that fly out.
That's actually a good idea. What if the moon was a dragon egg?
I mean, there is that canon myth that it is a dragon egg, so...
There used to be 2 moons, and then one of them broke open, and dragons flew from it or something. It's been years since I've
Yes,
watched.
the
or
moon
read that.
broke open as it reached the sun and was heated by the sun, and dragons flew from the moon down to the earth to populate the land, and that the other moon will hatch again at some point to repopulate the land with dragons.
Yes.
Awesome.
That sounds
It-
like a way better story. Let's read that instead of this.
It was already midnight. He said good night to the 2 knights and went to bed. Aegon POV. I awakened nights at dawn. Someone was approaching at their camp. It was more than we were expecting. There was an unexpected guest.
What a
I don't know why,
capitalization.
I just lose my shit every time you read something in all caps.
Yes. What we were
Really choked because of that.
What we were expecting was Sir Arthur, Lady Ashara, and her newborn daughter. But they were
Wait,
tagged
what
by...
happened to Ahara?
Unclear.
I think she died.
Obviously, Lady Ashara's twin sister.
Yeah, Lady Ahara took Lady Ashara's place by throwing herself off of the Palestone Tower.
Rest in peace, Lady Ahara.
But they were
You're no
tagged
longer
behind
surrounded
by
a
someone.
listing in this.
But they were tagged behind by someone whom I really wanted to avoid. That was our honorable Ned Stark, my uncle.
Clearly, you weren't doing a very good job if the guy could find you.
This is gonna be hilarious.
For a guy who's fast, he sure can't seem to avoid people.
Right?
It's like that joke that the Flash is always a few seconds late.
Sir Arthur and Ned Stark were not in ideal situations. They were covered with bruises and bandages. I guessed they were not willing companions. My mother was super excited on seeing her brother. I was a little guilty for trying to prevent their meeting.
Why'd he even want to prevent it in the first place?
Ned bashing.
Because fuck Ned.
Are they trying to say that Ned and Arthur fought and Ned gave as good as he got?
I think so, yes.
What a shit.
Maybe it was my prejudice against this honorable lord. I had not met him once. All I knew about him was from TV show and the books. I checked him out while the brother and sister were having lingering hug.
So
He's checking out his uncle.
Yep. He's
While his uncle is feeling up his sister.
Usually it's the other way around.
She called me to meet my uncle. She introduced me too. First of all, Ned's face was full of unbelievable.
Unbelievable what?
It's just full of unbelievable. That's it.
Yes, but what is unbelievable?
Yes.
His
Yes.
face is unbelievable.
Isn't unbelievable.
How could he believe this poorly grown young man was his newly born nephew?
I mean, it's a very, very good question in his defense.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the Honorable Arthur Dane was there, so there is no naysaying it.
Would you believe
Arthur
it?
could have been horribly drunk.
Wasn't Arthur Dane outside the castle fighting Ned?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to get all the way off my back.
In this continuity,
Staying on the back.
in this continuity, he was born before Ned ever arrived.
Yeah, because he's the fastest.
Yeah.
He was born.
Like
was
he
born
just
fast.
like speed ran the birthing process.
In the aging process.
Hell
Yes.
So
Would
is
you
he
believe
gonna
it?
Be dead before the month is out, with the rate he's growing at.
Yes. Probably before the week is out.
Except, you know, he's immortal because of the Speed Force.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To be fair, he
That
has
would
the
not be
Flash's
fair.
powers, but we don't know if he actually has the Speed Force yet.
But isn't the Speed Force the sum totality of the Flash's power?
Yeah, without the Speed Force, there is no power.
Only after Barry Allen. Jay Garrick didn't have the Speed Force until Barry Allen was introduced.
True enough, but he has the Flash's powers. I'm assuming he has Barry Allen's powers, and therefore he creates the Speed Force with every step he takes.
I mean, logically, yes, but logic got thrown out of the window long ago.
By both the Flash and this guy.
And by Jamie.
No, that was Bran. Would you believe it? He didn't. I had to show some powers to convince him. I transformed myself into Ned and then into my mother. Oh,
What?
okay. He's trans now.
Since when can he do that?
Look,
Really?
most people.
Shapeshifter, that explains how he got older so fast, but how the hell is he a shapeshifter?
None of his powers have shapeshifting.
I've read
Until
all
now.
the different One Pieces, and there's no way a plant power could let him completely change like that.
The Flash wouldn't let him change like that, and neither would Aquaman.
Right?
He vibrated his face really fast until it changed shape.
Hell yeah.
But
Thorfax, you are 100% correct. Logic was taken out back, violently violated, and then shot in the back of the head.
And then the remains are pissed on.
Yes.
And then violated again.
Yep.
Sort of like John's mother in Rising Sun.
Are you my mommy?
God damn it.
My body was plant.
That's not how that works.
Honestly.
Okay.
It would
Whatever you
work out
say.
Something to Logia.
Whatever you say. Moving on.
That's not how Logia works.
I could control it any way I wanted. I could change to any form or people. It's just that energy consumption was huge. Without the Aquaman power, my Devil Fruit power had to be started from 0.
Oh no, a weakness. Whatever shall I do?
Wait, what?
It's
Wait,
not
what
it's
does
not a
that mean?
weakness. He's literally covered the weakness.
With the Aquaman power.
We don't know yet. It hasn't come in.
He can breathe underwater
And swim.
and talk to fish.
Don't forget swimming, because devil fruits kind of make that not a thing.
Yep.
And I bet you it has enhanced stamina.
He said that he didn't have enhanced endurance.
From the Flash. He didn't say he didn't have it from Aquaman.
Point. Without the... Okay, I read that. The point was that I successfully convinced him. He became a believer of God.
What?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
He is calling himself God! He's calling himself God!
Oh, this is great.
I,
I can feel my brain cells killing themselves.
Poor Ned. His beliefs turned upside down. He was not the only one shocked, though. That was the first time when I had ever shown this ability. I inquired Sir Arthur about the situation they were in. It turned out when Sir Arthur sneaked in, Ned was already there. Above that, Lady Ashara had already given birth to a cute blonde babe. How is she blonde? If she is Targaryen, it should be silver with purple eyes. Or if she is more like Dane, she should have black hair. Just make the child an OC and not Daenerys if you're going to change it.
that comment
Platinum blonde.
full of wrong.
Didn't Arthur have blondish silver hair?
We actually don't know what his hair was like, but we do know Edric has blonde hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew that it wasn't out of the realm of possibility for a Dane to have it.
We also know that there have been Targaryens with straight up blonde hair.
And cough, John cough, there are Targaryens who don't,
With dark hair.
that have dark
Obviously,
hair.
the Targaryen seed isn't strong.
Yes. And also the Baratheons are direct descendants of Targaryens, and they have black hair.
Yep.
Be interesting to see how House of the Dragon handles that.
Isn't there like
They
a
probably
black
won't.
Targaryen?
An all-blonde cast.
From what I've read, the black guy is from House Valerian.
Oh.
which, is supposed to look like House Targaryen.
Yeah, Valyrians all are supposed to be pale with silver hair.
Yes.
And this very much hurts one of the storylines of Rhaenyra's kids and what they're supposed to look like.
It's gonna be fun to watch.
But affirmative action, guys.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No.
Fuck no.
Speaking as a minority, diversity quotas are trash.
I can
Nice.
probably pass as a minority. I think I'm Indian enough.
What do you say to this then?
It was just jackpot.
What? Oh, jackpot.
It was just jackpot.
Ashara arriving with a cute blonde babe.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is a wrong way to put that.
He's gonna age that baby, and then he is gonna have his
Rape it.
way with it.
Let's
It's gonna have the mind of a baby, so it's not gonna really know what's happening.
No, he's going to apply his flash powers and rapidly speed the growth of her mind as well.
Right, because that won't be traumatic, confusing, and terrifying for
That would be
excellent
torture.
experience. It will be amazing if the baby survives that.
It's gonna be super easy, barely an inconvenience. I mean, the
Yeah,
MC
yeah.
needs his waifu, guys.
He needs
to be
multiple.
taken out and shot. Self-insert needs to be shot. A lot of things need to be shot about this fic.
Ned was
No,
very
he needs to be
concerned
thrown
about his sister. He was not going to leave Sir Arthur without a proper explanation. Sir Arthur was not a man of many words. He did not bother to explain anything. Besides, secrecy of my birth was of utmost importance.
You
Never
probably
know.
wouldn't know how to explain it anyway.
He could not leak in such critical time of rebellion. The rebellion is over!
Yeah,
Apparently
Ray-
not.
What is
Yeah,
his
and
birth
so is-
secret important?
and so is John's pyrophiliac
And
grandfather.
Ned would not know of the birth if he didn't make it to the Tower of Joy for the birth. He knows now that he's seen John or Aegon, but he wouldn't have known before this.
Fair enough.
His loyalty for me or to Rhaegar was highly admirable. He died for this in the original timeline.
Unless he's Mance Raider.
That is a theory.
Or Corrin Halfhand.
That is another theory.
So many.
There's
in
a
the next book.
there's even another theory that he's one of the brothers from the place where the Hound is.
Clegane's.
No, where the Hound is as the Gravedigger.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the silent.
yeah, he's one of the quiet brothers.
Where does that theory come from?
I don't know, but I've seen it, so it is a thing.
I'm sure there's a theory somewhere that he's also Ilario. What?
Illyrio Mapatis.
Yes.
Here,
But
I'm coming up with the most out there theory. He's Robert.
Time traveling fetus.
God.
Rhaegar, at some point, went to the House of Black and White and trained with the Faceless Men. And then, during the Battle of the Trident, it was not Robert who killed Rhaegar. It was Rhaegar who killed Robert, and then he assumed Robert's face.
that would be horrible. That means Rhaegar was a terrible king.
Yeah.
No, that is just like with Robert. It's his grief over losing Lyanna.
How would Rhaegar being a terrible king be worse
And-
than Robert? Terrible king?
And it's also his grief over losing Elia, Rhaenys, and Aegon. But then it falls apart when he didn't punish Tywin for that.
As for how it would be worse, was because Rhaegar, from what we know, would have been a great king.
Yeah, he was, by all accounts, he looked to have been on the route to being a great king. Until the Lyanna incident happened.
So basically, he thought with his dick.
You know, not a good quality, but
Classic.
It's understandable.
It's quality
But-
nonetheless.
there's also the fact that the prophecy and the dragon dreams.
Look, man, something about that northern pussy. I don't know.
I mean, Robert fell for it.
Yeah,
Rhaegar fell
Rhaegar.
for it.
In
Aegon-
the original transcript, John fell for
Yeah,
it.
Aegon's about to fall for it.
Yeah, true about the last part. But holy fuck.
I mean, it would appear that Ned fell for it with that lingering embrace.
Yep.
Northern bitches are tight.
How much more are you gonna torture us, Beard?
A little
At
bit,
least
probably.
another hour.
Oh god.
Nope, I'm gonna go back to my own writing.
Have fun. Since there was lack of communication between the two, they resorted to fighting. If not for Lady Ashara's strong intervention, there might serious casualties.
What?
There might serious casualties.
Arthur could cut.
Arthur could defeat Barristan on his best day.
And Barristan could cut through these people like butter. That's not even mentioning the main character.
Sir Arthur could not maintain the secrecy. Under the commanding eye of his sweet sister, he spilled it out.
What a shit Kingsguard.
He also shared the idea of hiding and setting up a hidden village. Arthur, do you not know of a little thing called operational security?
No.
That's literally in the Kingsguard's vows to keep the secrets of their king.
Fine, yeah, revealing the existence of your king is not terrible. Yeah, you shouldn't have done it when ordered not to, but it's not unforgivable. But revealing the secret plans of your secret king absolutely is.
It's just like telling a random stranger right before you infiltrate a base what you're going to do.
I would like to point out that that was intentional.
Is that something you did in D&D or something?
Yeah, that our Dragon Rider campaign, we had to infiltrate a castle to save a party member. We ultimately failed, but before doing so, my character revealed exactly what we were doing to some random new character that we had just met.
Did it backfire?
No.
Should have backfired.
My character wasn't happy about it.
About it not backfiring?
No, about him telling.
Oh. That would be weird.
Ned had to make sure that his sister was fine. He had to see his
He's fine, all right.
He had to see his magical nephew, whom Sir Arthur was talking about. They sneak out in the dawn with Ned tagging along. You don't reveal your secret king's secret magical powers either!
And you don't take what is an enemy, no matter their relationship, to his secret location.
I mean, if you have a secret king, is he really king at all?
Yes. He's still the rightful king.
They had also declared that Lady Ashara gave birth to a stillborn child. She committed suicide because of being heartbroken. That's almost same with the original.
Didn't she show up with a blonde child?
Yeah, man, this is the story that is being told.
No.
They told the people of Starfall that she gave birth to a stillborn and killed herself. And then she came to see the 3-day/18-year-old new king. Ned also knew the necessity of our secrecy. If Robert came to know of my birth, he'd resort all means to hunt me down. Yeah, I might overpower all the assassins, but that's lots of troubles. I did not want to be annoyed by them. There were many meaningful things to do. Ned wanted to follow along and saw how we settled down, but his companions were still waiting in the fort. I assured him that we'd keep him updated. I wanted to heal him, but he said that someone might notice it. Well, Ned was not stupid as I thought. Ned never gives any indication of being stupid in canon.
And no material, even in the
Even in the shows, he doesn't show any indication of being stupid. He's actually quite smart. Is he a little naive? Yes. But that's not stupid.
And that's also only in the show. In the books, he's literally, in his inner monologue, knows it's a bad idea. It's just his honor compels him to do it.
Yes. We can't stay longer. Sooner or later, we might encounter other people. We left the horses to Ned. Horses were not suitable for the place where we were going. We were going to establish on a high peak with stiff cliffs. Author POV.
He's establishing another Erie.
Yes. Aegon created a simple rowing boat and they crossed the river. A boat emoji. Lyanna once told him. About what?
He literally put an emoji in his story.
Yes. This is the second one that has appeared. There was the swimming one last stream.
I don't remember the swimming one, but good God.
For climbing the stiff cliffs, he created wooden stairs. It took all day to get to a desired spot. It's about 1,200 meters high peak with hundreds of meters high cliff facing the ocean. He had to run back and forth all day to check out the terrain. Good thing he was a speedster. He had to take extra care for babe Daenerys. He already healed Lady Ashara. She was not much of a concern, but the babe, it was headache. Bringing a newborn child on a hiking journey was not the most ideal way.
Moving a newborn child from never mind.
Yeah, moving a newborn is not a good thing in a medieval society.
It's not a good
Heck,
thing.
it's not a good thing now, but we at least have some protections.
But there's a reason that they generally stay in the hospital for a while.
Yes.
And what happened to your mic? You sound garbled a bit.
Who does?
I have no clue.
And
Oh.
The
Yeah,
tone of defeat in your voice was amazing, by the way.
Even with
Sure,
all the
you'll get more.
even with all the superpowers, he was tired. They called it early night and slept. Aegon POV. What is the point in switching from first person to third person like this?
Don't you know? For a bit of variety.
When I woke up in the morning, Emily had already prepared breakfast for everyone. I didn't know about other things, but for food, we were never lacking. But the sight I was seeing was not the breakfast, but Lady Ashara breastfeeding babe Daenerys. Oh,
No.
You know what this means, guys.
No.
You know what this means, guys.
No.
He's a little tiny horny honey.
Still there?
Oh yeah, I'm there. That needs to be favorited. It was not helping with my morning hard-on. I couldn't help but stared. My actions did escape my mother's eyes. Why comment on it if it escaped his mother's eyes?
He probably meant did not and forgot to write the not.
I had a quick breakfast and slipped away. I had to do some high concentration work to get distracted from all that R18 thoughts. Walking some distance, I started creating a tree world. It took 3 full days to achieve it. Literally. The Red Mountain rocked for 3 days. There were many cracks and landslides. That's not subtle at all.
Yes, his hidden village is very subtle. It's very hidden.
The tree was 100 meters high on the surface, but it went down about 2,000 meters underground, with diameter of 200 meters. Mr. Author, are you Chinese, perhaps? This is not a tree world, but a world tree.
Please don't bring that into this.
I mean, he said in a previous chapter that there was going to be multiversal travel in this.
No.
At this note, I quit.
Damn.
It was divided into 200 floors. I had not done any interior designs yet. Okay. You've got a
Okay, so
20.
who's been reading Death
you're
Note
gonna
Parallel World Rhapsody?
you're gonna math this, aren't you?
You've got a 2,100 meter tree, and it has 200 floors.
Now, Myth, you know logic doesn't go into this story. That includes mathematical logic.
That is 2 floors for every 21 meters. So that's 10.5 meters per floor. A meter is over 3 feet long.
I should point out that structurally, a tree that big would not be very wise to have the floors, like the thing entirely hollow. So maybe the floors are just like separated by a lot of wood.
It's possible. Like, if it's done, like, purely divided the way I'm thinking, it would be around 40 feet per floor. That is a rough estimate, by the way. I didn't actually do the unit conversions.
I mean, most of the world is metric anyway, so we all got it before you started changing it to feet.
Hey, use American.
This is America. We speak American.
We are the superior system.
100th floor was at the sea level. I opened a sea cave and connected to the floor. Cave was hidden with trees. Okay, if the 100th floor is at sea level.
He said it went underground.
I know, but that still means that the remaining 100 floors all have to fill 100 meters.
Lol.
Perfect
That's-
logic.
I don't want to think about that.
That is 1 meter per floor.
No.
Maybe it's crawl spaces.
You'd need to like,
These are hobbit floors.
you need to cut yourself in half just to fit.
Hobbit floors, that's worse than Hobbit floor.
I mean, it would make sense to have more floors at the top where, you know, the weight isn't coming on them, but not like that.
That is just over 3 feet per floor above the surface.
He made 100 floors for the dwarves of A Song of Ice and Fire. He's gonna have a dwarven army.
Each
Have Tyrion teach him acrobatics.
Each floor was about 10 meters high, and there was enough space for proper ventilation. Yes, if you had divided it evenly, you would be right. You didn't divide it evenly, though!
Maybe he just didn't put all the floors in order. You know, 100's at sea level and then 53's the next floor up.
Yes, that makes sense.
I also embedded fluorescent elements that I extracted from marine plants. It did not lit the room automatically, but it worked when there was source of light. So I created extra large candles and lit up the entire floors.
So he does realize this is wood, correct?
Yes. What type of
Ah.
book do you want to publish in the medieval world? Just comment. I will help you publish it.
Oh, good God.
Let's see.
Twilight gonna happen?
Make me think of the world tree civilization in the legendary mechanic. More! And why release half-finished chapters? Good appetizer. What?
The obvious thing to publish would be Game of Thrones.
Coming up, so that you can see what is coming and you can give inputs into this chapter. Good appetizer. I will wait for more. GTHFD? Huh?
I don't know.
Well, I am writing this chapter. Okay.
Oh, it's abbreviation for something.
I realize that. I just don't know what it's abbreviation for.
Where the hell?
Look it up.
I'm not getting results.
That's because it wasn't searching for it. It was searching for something else.
Search with Google.
And now search instead for... Nope. Wrong one.
Search. There
You
we
want the
go.
one under that. There you go.
Still not getting...
Then you want to put meaning after that. With space. Apparently, it's a hidden abbreviation for some class of society that I don't want to know.
I thank you. Is anyone else still trying to figure out what exactly is going on, too? Yes. I'm not. No. If I have to sign in to leave a comment, no. I was going to comment yes.
Don't bump this guy's review count up.
Hidden Leaf Village.
Hidden Leaf Village.
I knew it.
He's made Konoha.
He is the first Hokage.
Making stairs for a 2,000 meters high building was an amazing experience. Going up from bottom to top must be a day's journey. I don't think it's a day's journey to walk 2 kilometers.
It absolutely is not. I wouldn't care to do it upstairs, but it's not a day.
He's not a baby, though. He's
18.
Yeah, he's a 1 week / 18-year-old.
Oh God, that's a...
I'm surprised you didn't introduce the escalator to Game of Thrones.
Just wait. It'll probably come. Just like Liana.
Oh, you had to go there.
Yeah, I couldn't resist it. Just like Aegon couldn't resist it. Just the thought of climbing such long stairs made me discover another ability. Yeah, I could move. I could move from one end of the tree to another. Literally, I could swim inside the tree like some sort of wooden escape technique of Naruto.
He's gonna fill Leanna with his hot leaf juice.
Good for me. I could move to any floor of the tree world. Here the saying goes, if necessity is the mother of inventions, then laziness is the father. Of course, I won't forget the lift! But I had to control it personally. There was no electricity, and I had no idea about machines.
A lift just requires a pulley system.
Indeed.
Above all this, I created a water reservoir at the peak. I added washrooms/toilets on each floor, with plumbing lines connected to the reservoir. Well, plumbing lines were made of reinforced woods. It won't leak water and could bear the water pressures. Interiors of the tree world were also reinforced with metamorphic rock compounds. It was much better than tiles or granites. My main concern was not just for beauty, to prevent accidental fires. We had to lit candles all the time and had to cook inside. It worked both ways. Now it was beautiful and strong. The top 3 floors were converted into bedrooms. 1 floor of me, ladies, and the knights respectively. Interiors were luxurious. All the furniture were made of the best woods I could think of.
Wooden bed.
Mattresses, cushions, and pillows were made using the finest cottons. After completing the living chambers, I invited my mother and others in. The ladies loved the facilities. I received many torturous hugs. The washroom and the water tap was a marvel for them. Even the knights could not help but exclaim. Reinforcing the interiors with rock compounds gave me another idea. Since I could not control other elements directly, except for wood and water directly, I injected them on the wooden tools and utensils I made. Buckets, tubs, mugs, plates, etc. I made everything with wood and reinforced with different elements according to its usage. If it was for carrying liquids, I made it impermeable. Yes, I discovered that I could control water when I extracted water for the reservoir.
He has Aquaman powers. Shouldn't that have been obvious?
I don't think, without his trident, I don't think Aquaman can actually control water.
He can't. His wife can, but he can't.
Yeah, it's some kind of magic.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have Aquaman's powers. He has Aquaman's wife's powers. He has Mira's powers.
So he has the powers of a full-blooded Atlantean, not a half-blood.
I just looked at the thing. Prophet said he wanted to be unmuted.
Well, Prophet's not in here anymore, so...
Too bad. So sad.
I haven't really been looking at Discord. Been keeping been keeping my eye on the YouTube chat because it's actually active for once, but not Discord. I also introduced the modern kitchen facilities to the ladies. They were impressed. Cooking stove was not LPG, though. I made pure carbon concentration charcoal blocks, which was almost smokeless and long-lasting. I brought them down to the ocean floor 100th floor through the lift. They could not stop exclaiming because of nervousness and amazement. I was enjoying showing off what I had achieved in the last few days. I showed them the
Achieved.
small harbor in the ocean cave. Yes,
You know what-
Thorfax. It is active because you're a lunatic.
You know what achieved implies? Effort.
Yeah. It does.
This was not effort.
I'm gonna need you to get all the way off his back about that.
No.
Look, it might not be an achievement in your eyes, but it is in his, alright?
Look, this guy's only a week old.
Yeah. He's working really hard.
Does anyone else have their keyboard continually popping open when they're using the phone app?
I'm not using the phone app, so I don't know.
That is a problem in the new version, yes. Yet another reason to downgrade.
It's really annoying.
Oh, yeah.
Ocean Cave was not large. It's about the size of a football stadium, with a height about 100 meters above the water surface and about 20 meters below.
That's not a small cave.
No, it's not.
In fact, that can fit a few ships. That's not.
I'm thinking this guy is not used to actually using metric, and is only using it because people have told him metric is better.
Probably it.
I mean, to be fair, it is.
Nope.
Metric is better when using the maths and sciences. Metric is better in general if you were raised using metric. But if you were raised using imperial, then you don't have the difficulties that someone not raised with it has.
Okay. Have you seen this blue image in Discord? It's cursed.
What blue image?
It's in the chat for this channel. It's by Yakubi
Let's see.
at 2:21.
This?
Yep.
It's not cursed. I've seen this before.
Protagonist engineering.
Take a closer look at it though.
I mean,
Ah, I see it.
Fuck.
Look at the underside of the rectangle.
Look at the joins of the prongs. It's a two-prong thing into a three-prong. It's all optical illusions.
yeah, that I
I know.
I was saying I've seen this before. It's not cursed.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's mind-bending, and if you try to understand it, it can give you a headache. But it's not cursed.
No, it's not cursed. It's just. Yeah.
It's jinxed. There you go.
It's hexed.
Hell yeah.
It was brightly lit with fluorescent plants. It was a natural wonder. No, it's not, because you made it. It was mesmerizing. Few rowing boats and sailing ships were floating there. Lower 100 floors were all granaries and warehouses. I filled each floor with a different type of food grains, wines, or goods. He's literally just made the place. And he's
Yep.
already got ships, floors filled with grains, wines, and other goods.
Yep.
Let's talk about wines for a second. He made wines in a day?
Yes.
Clearly has no idea how wine works.
Don't you know, with his plant-based powers, he can make wine in a day.
Must have taken you a long time, the comment says. No, it was super easy, barely an inconvenience. It was enough for us to eat for a long, long time. The geothermal heat from the underground kept them warm, so there were no worries about spoiling them.
I think we just let it go.
Boy! Heat is more likely to make food spoil faster. You want to lower the temperature to preserve things. Especially in a humid area like in an ocean cave. Yeah, if you were in a desert, yeah, the heat might help.
Yeah, it'll keep it dry.
But you're not in a desert. You're in an ocean cave. Inside a tree.
But there's a desert over yonder.
Dude, the warm temp will spoil the grains. Heat doesn't keep food from spoiling. You need snow? Warm? You mean cold? These people get it!
And the average web novel reader is smarter than you, you've hit rock bottom.
True.
Yes!
True.
When the average web novel reader is smarter than you, you've hit rock bottom and kept digging. I want to send the knights to collect orphans, but it's not the time yet. They had to hide little longer. I made them guard the ocean cave floor and peek in rotation. They did not have to guard our chambers. Yes, they do. That's literally the Kingsguard's job. It doesn't matter if there's no perceived danger. It's their job. It is their sworn oath.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I did not let them stay idle. I assigned the task of printing to them while I let the ladies weave clothes. World was still in turmoil. It's still early for me to leave yet. My mother won't let me go. So I started focusing two tasks: mass printing books and creating vegetable gardens. I leveled down most of the peak around and converted it into vegetable gardens, fruit orchards, or training grounds. Yes, I had to plan a place for the orphans to train. Peaks were connecting through wooden roads. It's so easy to make flyover roads with the woods. Smiley face. I converted 50 of the top floors into library and reading rooms. Rows of racks and bookcase fill the rooms. There were not much books yet. Soon, this place might be the holy place of study, replacing Citadel and O'Hara's Tree of Knowledge. What's O'Hara's Tree of Knowledge?
I'm gonna guess it's a One Piece thing.
Okay.
Is it?
I don't know. I've never...
Let's see. O'Hara's Tree of Knowledge.
Oh yes, it's where Nico Robin comes from.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a library in the big tree, and
Oh, okay.
all got put down on it.
But if this isn't actually the One Piece universe. He just brought powers from One Piece. So how is this place going to replace something from One Piece?
Black magic fuckery?
Is he gonna bring One Piece into this?
I mean,
That's what this makes me think.
universal travel will be a thing, so maybe? I have reproduced many of the primary books from my past life, like pictographic books of fruits, vegetables, animals, parts of body, etc. For the advanced books, I had not planned to release yet. Since printing task had been given to the knights, I took up another project. I started mining different minerals and filling up the warehouses. Oh, look, guys! He can deal with minerals again!
He's good, alright? Just
It was super easy,
Inside,
barely
he's
an
God.
inconvenience.
I mean, he is God.
yeah, see, God can't do any wrong.
Most of the deposits were iron, but I found many other rare minerals like gold, silver, copper, etc. There was no need for refining the ores because I was extracting pure minerals directly from the source instead of digging. I had just a week. All the warehouses were full with food, wine, and minerals. You already said they were filled with food and wine. So you're filling even more food and wine? The mining was excited at first. Can you imagine? Extracting tons of gold directly.
Why does he even care about gold if he has superpowers?
Unless you're drawing directly from a gold vein, you're not likely to extract tons of gold from one location.
Yeah.
Even if you're extracting the pure element.
More likely to extract something else.
It's like, yeah, you'd probably extract at most a few pounds of it.
It's fool's gold. He thinks he's been extracting gold this whole time. He's been extracting fool's gold.
That would be great.
But I was getting bored of mining. I decided to learn fighting and combat skills.
Of course.
The 3 knights took turn to train me. I did not use super speed to fight. At first, I was unable to fend off their attacks. But after a week of learning, there was nothing left for them to teach me. Look at how awesome he is, guys. He learned all there was to learn from the 3 best knights of King Ares' Kingsguard in only a week. Like, he learned all there was to learn. What do you think about that, man?
Your silence, I love it.
Yeah, having super IQ.
He doesn't even have any enhanced learning powers or anything either.
Yeah, having super IQ and super strength was too much. experience doesn't mean anything. You just need to be smart. Muscle memory adapts in a week. I think you forgot to tell us you gave him adaptive body, fast growth, and almost instant mastery. Well, most probably Aquaman's strength, speedster's adaptability, and fast-working brain. Not sure if he is smart. After getting the combat skills, I decided to innovate myself with reference to many superhero movies.
Aren't those literally the worst thing to emulate?
In the Arrowverse, fighting with bow and arrow was very popular. I made thousands of bows and millions of arrows. Having the plant control power and super speed, making bow and arrows was too easy. It was only too easy. Picturing Gilderoy Lockhart.
Now, if only he had some people to actually use the boats.
You just need an obnoxious smile to go with
That's what all of the orphans are for. But I did not want to make just simple arrows. I started research on Valyrian steel.
Oh, I knew something was coming.
Valyrian Saiyan plus Valyrian. Valyrian Saiyan plus Valyrian.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, because
Wait.
you didn't say Valyrian steel.
Yeah, Valyrian steel.
Yep.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this one of Shiro's betas? Ainz Algon?
That's a character from an anime.
No, like, I'm pretty sure Shiro has a beta who has this username.
Specifically that username?
Yes.
And then you should probably tell Shiro to get rid of that beta. If he's reading this of his own free will.
It was a year ago.
Alright.
According to Thorfax, it's a common username now, so doesn't necessarily mean anything.
What the heck is Thorfax?
He's the commenter on YouTube.
Yeah, it sounds like a website. Facts of Thor.
Valyrian steel and planning for the winter. If you constantly post fake chaps, people are going to stop reading. Stop posting fake chaps, and the titles for the tree is cringy. Alfheim is Norse for Village of Light Elves, or you can call it Leos Alfheim. They have the same meaning. Hidden Leaf Village sounds better than the other one. Bro, please not so cringy. Something the Village of Fire, or Hidden Village of the Dragon, or Garden of Eden, or something. Maybe Yggdrasil. Or simplify Yggdrasil. MC have huge tree. I know, not very original. You do not know trees produce electricity? A tree that big must produce a lot. Leaf Village. So keeping things warm keeps them from getting spoiled? Okay. Sigh. There's barely any conversation. It will just get boring if you just write what he did. I am not good at writing conversation. Zelino Koreo Dracos, or Wooden Dragon Village in Greek, for the name of the settlement. I thank you. Silence. Thanks for the chapter. Leaf tree, tree leaf, more! When is next chapter? Village of Life. Chapter 9. Let the game begin. This is going to be the final chapter of the night.
Alright.
After
I was
making...
really hoping we were going to finish that with the final chapter of the story.
No. We're only 43% through. After making a numerous bows and arrows that filled 10 floors, I planned to play a blacksmith role. Note, each floor is a 200-meter square with a height of 10 meters. Filling such 10 floors means a lot. Thorfax, oh thank the gods. I don't know how much more my brain can take. For the weapon, I did not plan to use simple steel. My war was not fight these medieval soldiers, but the White Walkers and their army of undead. I set up a furnace on the lowest floor, which was at the oceanic crust. There, I could access lots of rare elements from igneous and metamorphic rocks. What is the Shadow Monarch ripoff? My target was the famous Valyrian steel, but I had no sample at hand. I had the vague idea about it, like it needed dragon fire, blood, etc. What I had were all pure elements, so I skipped the purification part and started from forging to quenching and tempering. I tried different composition ratios. My objective was a tough and hard iron alloy with less brittleness. So you want high carbon steel.
You probably looked up a guide on carbon steel.
Hard iron alloy with less brittleness. You're describing high carbon steel.
And completely ignoring temper, probably.
He mentioned tempering. But something unexpected happened. Can you imagine an alloy sword hammered at the speed of light?
Yeah,
it would vaporize. Shit, it can turn to mud into gold. That's not how this works. You don't have a fucking Philosopher's Stone. You can't just turn other elements into gold.
This is great.
Good news for me. I was able to forge many good quality swords. They were all superior to the swords wielded by my knights. Even the lowest quality sword was comparable to Sir Arthur's sword, Dawn!
Is Dawn not Valyrian steel?
No, Dawn
No.
is forged from a
Sky
fallen
metal.
star. It is comparable to Valyrian steel, though. The best one was crystalline alloy sword made of pure iron and dragon glass at the ratio of 1 to 20, and the carbon was injected during hammering. Tempering with trillion times hammering at the speed of light created the magic. I did not know if my sword could kill a White Walker, but I was damn sure that I could cut them like butter. That's end of my research. After that, I spent about a month's time to forge millions of swords and filled 5 floors. Millions? Ridiculous. Time passed quickly. Another 2 months had passed. It was now 284 AC. I had filled another 10 floors with shields and spears. I also added Aegon alloy arrowheads. Yeah, named the crystalline iron alloy as Aegon alloy! But of high carbon and silica content, the new alloy was not heavy. I equipped my knights from head to toe with it. They loved it. They even hugged them to sleep. Okay. I also created few short knives for the ladies. At this point, my life was rather boring. Rebellion was already over, and Robert Baratheon had been enthroned. Because of the 3 months of super speed hammering, I was quite comfortable with the super speed. I thought it was the time to play. Let the game begins. During the last 3 months, I had been thinking, I could become anyone. I could go anywhere. So why should I play small games? I decided to play a larger game. I did not need to struggle to convince the nobles to prepare for the winter or for any purposes. I did not need to wait for the Game of Thrones plot to begin. I, Aegon Targaryen, could become the king. I was Robert Baratheon. I did not want to be a hypocrite. I want to be the real me.
I was Robert Baratheon? What?
What? I was Robert Baratheon. I did not want to be a hypocrite. I want to be the real me. One of these does not belong. This was not Game of Thrones, but my Game of Thrones. Let all the obstacles vanish. Let the Westeros be peace and prosperity. I was not reincarnated to forge swords in a shithole, but to do the impossible and to create the legend. By the way, to entertain the gods! Smiley face. I see. Then it's understandable why he rushed to grow up. I see. No more problems with it. There are still very much problems with it.
I don't know what's so... It's just so stupid, but also so funny.
Yes. My purpose became clear, and my soul had been sublimated. My mental strength had a breakthrough. I could sense the surrounding 1 kilometer radius with my mind or spiritual sense. I intuitively thought about the sonar ability of Aquaman. If I touched someone, I could control his hormones. Reading memories using my enhanced psychic power was no longer an issue. I could reach anywhere in Westeros in just a few minutes. My plan was activated. I did not notify my mother. I flashed towards King's Landing. Author POV. Aegon reached King's Landing in just a few minutes. He's rather slow for a flash. What a stroke of destiny. That day was the wedding of King Robert and Cersei Lannister. It was still early. He planned to lay down a network. He looked for a corner and started weaving plant network. He connected all the trees in King's Landing. He also generated new plants wherever required. He paid special attention to Great Sept, Alchemist Guild, brothels, inns, noble houses, etc. Oh my god, guys. That was a list.
Yes.
Through the local area network, he could spy on anyone in King's Landing or the Red Keep. He stayed there near the king's chamber by turning into a tree, waiting for his prey, waiting for Robert to be alone. The grand wedding was held at Great Sept of Baelor, followed by a tourney of celebration. Night was the feast. Red Keep was full of festivity. Newly crowned queen came in first, accompanied by many maids, to make sure everything was in order. They had prepared everything that king and queen might need. After waiting for a while, finally, King Robert came in and the maids went out. That was his chance. In a flash, he stunned Cersei and Robert.
In a flash.
He touched Robert's head and started plundering all his memories from birth to till then. Memories kept flashing like a fast-forwarding movie. After digesting all the memory, he summed up in 4 words. Solve everything with strength. After the violent plundering, Robert became an idiot. Aegon showed mercy to the poor man and finished him off by dragging underground to become a soil for the garden. Oh, God. Burying him alive and turning him into soil is showing pity now.
He's so merciful.
He himself turned into a tall and muscular man, the first of his name, the King Robert Baratheon. He looked at the mirror and made sure everything was fine, nothing out of order. Now that the real game starts, he looked at the beautiful, slender blonde woman laying on the bed. With this fateful wedding night, he was going to rewrite the history of Westeros. For months, he had been a hypocrite. He tried to suppress his instincts by distracting himself with chores. Let's set the beast loose. New era of Westeros began. I am writing at the go as soon as the idea pops up. There may be many typing mistakes. Let's edit together. Make it so it has to be forged with dragon fire, so he can have a dragon. You can have him get a fossilized dragon egg and give it vitality like he did to heal his mother. Since he is a Targaryen, he can control the dragon easily. XP. MC have to be prepared that fossilized dragon egg could chug vitality like hard elephants chug water. Boring. This is going way too fast, my dude. Blacksmithing went a little flat, but result what is interesting is some higher being subtly playing with mind of MC, or maybe Bloodraven, or hormones play with him. An alloy of the 3, iron, dragonglass, and carbon, generated through alchemy blood and magical fire, whether wild or dragon fire matters not. Oh, I guess that's saying what Valyrian steel might be? Same way they make Damascus steel with the layers, but the steel needs dragon fire for heating, the finished blade, and you need to quench the blade in blood instead of oil. After all, fire and blood is the motto. I read somewhere that IRL, circa 15th to 16th century, existed superstition that the best swords and sabers had blades quenched during smithing in defeated enemies' blood. Maybe additionally dragonbone as part of fuel and forge in some magical fire like dragonfire or wildfire. That could be good reason for small quantities of Valyrian steel produced during Valyrian freehold. Try find blacksmith willing to work with fire breathing near your dragon, or with furnace that can spill wildfire at any moment. And this days dragons are very rare. I thank you. Let him be the king as himself pulls. Thanks for the chapter, author. ×2. That is it for the night.
And meanwhile, I get shit on my chapters.
For being slow-paced.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you read those things I just posted like 20 minutes ago?
I have not yet, but it's become so common I expect it.
See, I made a mistake. I put an author note telling them that I don't care that they think that it's slow, and now they're all raging.
That was a thing.
Yeah.
Let
the game begins. How do you feel?
I feel entertained.
Sure.
I feel entertained.
Entertained and
That was
necessary.
fun. That was fun. So, Zero, do
Mhm.
you want to do the honors of announcing what's happening next week?
Oh, so you remember that story I keep saying I'm gonna write? Yeah, next week that's gonna happen.
Awesome.
Yeah, look, you're all gonna help me because I have to actually try to write something bad. So I will need assistance. Thank you in advance, everybody. I love you.
It's going to be glorious.
Oh yeah, it's
Are we posting it on the novel?
web novel. I
I
thought
posted
about
it.
putting it on Archive of Our Own, but I mean, web novel works just as well.
Both
that's-
Archive. So, Archive is perfect for what it's going to be.
Yeah, because you know those stories where it's like an AU in the modern world.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, it's gonna be that, but also BDSM, and Harry is not the dom. Umbridge is.
Oh, what? I don't want to think about Umbridge, you dumb.
Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse. Don't worry. We're like when we get to it, you're gonna hate me.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be amazing.
Kinda hate you already for the putting that thought in my head.
Oh, I'll be putting much more than that in your head next week. Should you choose to attend.
You're welcome.
So just-
Thor
just look
Thor
at that.
Thorfax on YouTube has responded. I just lost my dinner. I already hate you for that mental image.
You're welcome.
Alright, I'm gonna go read Info's fic.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Look at the comment from Metal Nap.
With Snape being a voyeur at this point.
Thank you for that. You will be thanked for the suggestion in the dedications from the story.
Right.
You just copy this.
For those on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And the link to both SGO and my Patreon are in the description down below.